So, good morning everyone. This is going to be a morning practice to get us moving, to generate some circulation, some heat, without being insensitive towards the joints. So, I really highly recommend getting your exercise elsewhere and then coming to your mat so that you're kind of satisfied in that hunger for endorphins and cardio and circulation and whatever, and you release a little bit of that stored up adrenaline, and then you can come to your practice and allow it to be more mindful and get the deeper benefits of yoga. So I'd like us to just take a brief moment to bring our hands to our body, left hand to the heart, right hand to the hara, the belly. Breathe a little deeper. And we'll bring in that mantra that we used in the last practice. What is here when we stop looking for what is not here? So just checking in with your body, how it feels, the emotional tone, the sense of breathing, heartbeat, and putting out the welcome mat for anything that is here. So whether we feel anxious or tired or stressed or drained or irritated or angry, allowing it all room to breathe, breathing space. And then we'll move into a short breath practice, deepening your breath if you can, drawing your inhale down towards your right hand, your belly brain, activating that intelligence. And then exhaling back up into the heart center, feeling a sense of softening, broadening, opening. Each inhale travels downwards, drawing prana and chi inwards. Each exhale rises, but only as far as the heart, opening, softening. 2 more breaths in your own rhythm. Focusing again in this practice, even though it's a more yang movement-based practice, on grounding. What do you need to feel more grounded? So let's take that breath practice with us onto the mat, and coming down to begin with into child's pose. So sometimes when we want to ground, it's good to have a practice that's more connected to the ground. So let's just take a moment here, feeling into your lower back, breathing into your lower back, and then stretching your arms forward and taking your hands mat width apart, broadening into your hands, lengthening your arms so the elbows come off the ground. And as you inhale, spread your toes and lift up into table pose. And exhale into your downward dog with the knees deeply bent, taking your hips as far away from your hands as you can, relaxing your head and your neck. And then inhale, drop the knees, and exhale to child's pose. And we'll flow between those two movements on the rhythm of your breath. Each inhale, draw your attention down towards your belly brain, keeping your knees deeply bent, even if you can straighten them. Each exhale, allowing that energy to rise back up into the heart center. Next time you come up into downward dog, we'll refine the posture a little, come high onto the toes. Make sure your feet are quite wide apart so there's room for all the bones in your pelvis, your reproductive system. Bend the knees a little and look towards your hands and make sure they're wide enough apart to give your shoulders lots of room. And then begin to walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee. And then bringing the feet together, raise that right leg and open all 10 toes, all 10 fingers, arms and legs like antennae, reaching out to the ground, to the space around you, drawing energy in. And then exhale that knee under the body and step it forward, dropping the left knee. and walk that right foot a little further forward so that you come into a low lunge, releasing the back toes. And then exhale, make it into a forward bend. And it doesn't matter how your forward bend looks, we're not so interested in aesthetics, we're more interested in how does it feel inside your body. And maybe this is one of the nice benefits of doing online yoga, is we're not so concerned with how we look, how we compare to others. We're able, hopefully, just to more focus on the audio than the visual, and to go deeper within. Next time you come forward, bring your right hand inside your right foot. I'll just move a little further into view. So bringing your right hand inside your right foot, and get your shoulder and your knee to hug together. And then open your left arm, bring your hand to your shoulder or to your hip, and if it feels good, raise your arm and then come up onto your fingertips if you can. You don't have to, but if you can and it feels good, and it helps you look for space in your spine, your back, your neck. So dropping the chin slightly, open up that space in the neck. And then exhale, release, take the hips back a little and change hands. I really enjoy staying on the fingertips, but if that's just not doable for your anatomy, stay flat on the hands or on the fists or on some blocks. And then bring your hand to the right knee and lengthen and twist and raise the right arm, keeping that neck soft. So for me, I notice when I turn to the right, my neck's a little tighter. So it's often better for my neck to look down. But if you can, look straight ahead or look up. And then exhale, release. Tucking the back toes under, stepping it back. Walking the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee, stretching out through the calves. Bring your feet together, spread your fingers, really ground through the finger bases and raise that left leg. Open the toes, broaden into the balls of the feet. Reach up through your legs, so your legs are actually helping to lengthen your back. Exhale that knee under the body and step it forward, dropping the right knee. Walk the left foot forward, hips come forward into a low lunge. And then inhale into the belly brain. Exhale, fold over that front knee and let your exhale rise into the heart space. Inhale into the belly brain as you come forward into the lunge. Exhale into the heart space. 2 more in your own rhythm, spreading your fingers and toes. Feeling into that right groin. Consider your yoga practice almost like a massage. You're bringing acupressure into different areas of the body to enliven them. And bringing your breath and your attention there is a way to move energy. So bring your left hand inside that left foot. You can stay flat down on the hand. You can come up onto the fist, or you can come onto the fingertips. Adjust your pose so you can move your hips a little further forward, and then bring your hand to the right hip. If it feels good, raise the arm and breathe. Look after that neck. So again, if you need to, look down. You want to feel your neck has no creases. You're not crunching all the information through the joints there. Open the hands and the feet. Inhale into the belly brain. And exhale into the heart as we release the pose and change sides with the hand. Again, flat hand, fingertips or fist. And open into the left side. Breathe into that belly brain. And exhale into the heart. Hands release down. Tuck the back toes under and let's step it back again. From downward dog, we can come to high plank, or if high plank is going to cause pain in any of your joints or it's just too strenuous for you this morning, then drop the knees instead and move from table pose to downward dog, or simply stay in downward dog. Otherwise, we're going to generate a little bit of heat, but also really feel into that lengthening in the back of the legs. Lengthen out through the back of the legs, up through the front of the legs. Bend the knees and roll back into your downward dog. Rolling forward into high plank. Use the strength and length of your legs to support your spine. One more. And then either drop the knees or lower the whole body down, come all the way down to the ground. Become aware of the ground below your body as you rest your forehead down. Hands either side of your rib cage like a grasshopper. Tuck the toes under and lift the knees and the thighs and lengthen out of your back through your legs, feeling the connection between your feet, your legs, your spine. And then exhale, drop the knees. Do this movement a few more times. Each inhale into the belly brain. Each exhale into the heart space. Really feeling into your feet, into the connection between your feet and your pelvis. And see if it's possible to keep your glutes relaxed here, so that even though you're firing all the muscles in the legs, you're keeping an open gateway between the legs, the pelvis and the spine. And then relax the tops of the feet to the floor and come up onto your forearms into a sphinx pose and hug the hands towards you. So here, let's just touch the heels together, roll the heels in. You might not even reach all the way together. And feel how much tightness that generates around the sacrum. So now roll your heels away from each other, tops of the feet are on the floor, spread the toes, hug the hands towards you, hug the knees and the thighs away from the floor, and feel how you can lengthen your belly, your lower back, and move the back bend higher up into the thoracic spine. So open the heart. 2 more breaths here. Inhale into the belly brain. If it's too strong, feel free to be much lower down and move your elbows further forward. Exhale, move the heart between the shoulder blades. Move the heart forward, keeping the neck nice and safe. And then exhale, release and push back onto the knees and exhale to child's pose. Dropping your elbows either side of your ears, bring your hands behind your head. Inhale the hands to the floor. And exhale the hands behind the neck. This time when we bring the hands to the floor, interlock the fingers and come up onto the toes, downward dog with the head hanging free between the elbows. We can stay here, or if it feels good, we can flow forward. You might need to draw the elbows a little closer in, actually. Hug the hands together. Inhaling inside the triangle, letting that head and neck completely hang free. Use your legs as you lengthen back out of your spine when you come forward, and don't feel you have to go to your max. Just go to a place that feels nourishing for you, that feels grounding for you. And on your next inhale, drop the knees and exhale to child's pose. Just resting your arms wherever feels good to you. Coming forward again with the arms. Again, we'll make that triangle. We'll come up and let the head and the neck hang. Walk the feet together and raise the right leg. Press into that top foot and spread the toes. Lift up and out of your shoulders. Breathe into your belly. Exhale into your heart. Exhale, release, and change sides when you're ready. Raising the left leg high. Pressing down into your forearms, generating space in your shoulders. Use that top foot to lift out of your spine, lift out of your pelvis. And exhale, release, and curl back down into your child's pose. So downward dog's a really great way. Let's come back up into our regular downward dog. A really great way to turn ourselves upside down, but stay really grounded and to generate a lot of circulation in the brain, in the nervous system, in the endocrine system, the hormonal system. So let's just do a quick check of how our shoulders are in downward dog, because I know some people really struggle, especially if we have tech shoulders, if we've spent too much time trying to work out how to operate Zoom, etc. Well, Zoom's pretty easy, I guess, but other things not so easy. So if you just want to look towards the camera just for one moment, I'm just going to show you what often happens, just make sure I'm on camera, to our shoulders when we're in downward dog. So often we're so keen, we want to get right down to the ground, and we crease all around the shoulders and the neck and the spine. And all that information there is all kind of crunched. And what we're more interested in is flow. We want everything, all those gateways to be open and flow to be moving through the whole body. So something that we can do is bend the knees, take the hips away from the shoulders so there's less pressure in the shoulders. Spread the fingers and the hands so that there's support for the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the lungs. And then begin to open the upper back, spiraling the shoulders away from each other, spiraling the biceps away from each other, broadening. And then perhaps we relax the heels back. But it's no big deal if we don't. People get very hung up on the shape, the aesthetic. And really what we're interested in here is the sensations that we personally are feeling. So again, what's here when we stop looking for what's not here? So come into your downward dog. So I can press my heels down, but I know that it's more nourishing for my spine, my lower back especially, to bend the knees. And I can get more space, more circulation of prana and chi happening if I bend the knees a little. So then dropping down, oops, my cats, and coming onto our backs, bending the knees, so keeping the knees bent, arms by the sides of the body. Inhale, raising the arms and tucking the chin just slightly. Doesn't matter if your hands don't reach the floor, if your shoulders are tight, just work with what's there. And gently begin to spread your fingers and toes, the balls of your hands and your feet. See if you can relax all the muscles, the tissues that pass through your pelvis. Dropping down into the sensations being generated by the movements. Bring your hands down by the sides. Raise the right leg and the right arm. Bring the right arm down, I knew this would happen. This is meant to be a left brain, right brain thing. Raise the left leg and the right arm. Exhale, release. Raise the right leg and the left arm. Exhale, release. Last one, raise the left leg, the right arm. And exhale, release. And then just let your knees move towards the right side of your mat like windscreen wipers, and then to the left. Coming back to center, tucking your chin in. So you might need to just lift your head and tuck your chin in. You might need to roll up the back of your mat underneath your head. And walk your feet much closer in, so the heels are as close to your sit bones, your thighs as possible. And then bring the arms down by the sides, spread your toes, feet are parallel, hip width apart, so that then translates into the knees and the hips and keeps them nice and aligned as you lift your pelvis and perhaps your arms over the head. And then release your spine, almost like a bicycle chain, one section at a time, tailbone last. Really ground through your feet. Use your feet. Use the strength in all the small muscles of the legs as you raise your pelvis again and bring your arms back down by the sides. And then raise your arms over your head and release your spine vertebra by vertebra, like a bicycle chain, just releasing. Tailbone lengthens out and releases last. And you might want to stay with this movement, you might want to stay with micro movements, you might want to come up next time into your bridge pose, sliding your hands underneath your body, walking your elbows in towards each other, clasping the hands and using your arms like a third leg on a stool. For some people it's more comfortable for their bodies to grab hold of the ankles or to bring their hands underneath the back of the waist. So work with what feels good rather than what looks good. Stay as grounded as you can through your feet, through your legs. Let them support your spine. If you're feeling quite energetic this morning, walk your feet in together and raise one leg up to the sky. Open the toes, broaden the balls of the feet. Keep both feet nice and dynamic, supporting your pelvis as you change sides. And then each in your own time, taking your time. When you feel ready, release your spine gently, again like that bicycle chain, vertebra by vertebra, and release the pelvis all the way down. Just keeping the knees bent, the chin tucked in, the arms out to the side. In fact, let's bring our hands to the lower ribs, weighting them down just a little. Bring your knees into the chest and beginning to circle the knees. And then keeping the knees together, arms out to the side, roll your knees over to the floor on the right. Bring your left hand to your left rib cage so it weights it down a little, and you can turn your hand to the left, your right hand to your right knees. If your knees don't touch the floor, slide a cushion or a block underneath them, or sometimes between them. Or sometimes you can just use your fist. And this can often generate a lot more space for your lower back. So if it feels like it's tight in your lower back, use a pillow between the knees or underneath the knee. Breathe into your belly brain. And exhale, release all that energy into your heart space. And then for the last breath, opening the arms, opening the palms up to the sky, relaxing in the jaw, the root of the tongue, all the small social muscles in the face, the brain. Invite them to soften. Inhale gently, mindfully with your neck and knees back to center. And then rolling over to the left side. Left hand on the left knees, right hand on the right rib cage, lower rib cage. Almost as if you were just receiving an adjustment to release a little deeper into the twist. Any pain or strain, modify your pose, use pillows between the knees, especially if that right shoulder isn't quite dropping to the floor. If it's too much for the neck to turn the neck, then don't feel you have to turn the neck. And just noticing the impact of that weight of your right hand on your lower right rib cage. Notice perhaps the impact in your nervous system. arms wide, turning the palms up. And then we'll gently inhale, coming back to center, rolling off to the right to prepare for an inversion. So some of you might want to, if you regularly practice shoulder stand or headstand, you might want to do that. Some of you might want to bring your legs up against the wall. Some of you might just want to stay on your back and raise your legs. We might want to slide a pillow under the pelvis to generate a little bit more of a back bend in the inversion, and raise the legs. So find a pose that grounds and nourishes you, that helps you to feel very present. So sometimes contact with the floor or props or your hands, so you can bring your hands to your belly, can feel very grounding. And let's just let the breath find its own natural intelligence now. As we let the posture do the work, and circulation just begins to happen through the lymphatic system, through the blood, down the legs, pooling energy in the hara, our energetic center, and the ground of our awareness. We can keep the feet together, we can take the legs wide, we can do any variations that feel good. We can activate the feet so they're a little dynamic, so they're kind of pulling away, especially if we're in shoulder stand or headstand. And just take a moment to really ground your attention in your body. So the invitation is to stay here, or in any variation, legs against the wall, for as long as feels nourishing to you. And when it feels time to release, keeping your transitions mindful, so we're not just flopping into and out of postures, but we're staying as present as we can. Perhaps slowing our movements down as we come down onto the mat for relaxation. So if the lower back is sensitive, keep the knees bent or stack some pillows under the knees. Otherwise, we can stretch out the legs. Take up as much space as you can with your arms and your legs. And again, the invitation is to stay here for as long as feels nourishing to you. And sometimes that will just be a minute or so, and sometimes when we have accumulated stresses and exhaustion, we can drop off into a deeper, rapid eye movement sleep. So allow that to happen if you have the time and space. And so when you come back up, you might come back up to a blank screen. But it's nice to allow each of us to personalize this part of our practice. What is here when we stop looking for what is not here?